First up is The Devil All the Time. This movie just came out on Netflix and it stars a bunch of really good actors. If I were to list everyone, I'm basically listing the entire cast because they're all really phenomenal. We're just going to stick with the main two, I guess, which are Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson, my third Robert Pattinson movie. The basic premise is it kind of follows like a bunch of different lives as they kind of live in the 60s, well, 50s and 60s. And it's a very sad story. There's lots of death, and it's very violent, but it's really really good. It definitely feels like a book to movie. Like it has lots of narration and stuff, because it is based off a book as well. It is kind of interesting how movies based on books have a tendency to feel like books. But yeah, no, it was great. I really really enjoyed it. I would say what I really loved about the movie though are those two actors I just listed. Their performances are incredible, and then like I also love how with Tom Holland, he doesn't sound like Tom Holland, like 'cause he doesn't sound like Spider-Man, except for like a couple times when he gets scared, that he goes into like that high pitched like ah thing. Otherwise though, he sounds like a completely different person. And then Robert Pattinson, he just has like a crazy voice, but it works for his character, who's so creepy and slimy and stuff, but it's great. Yeah, this movie's really good. Definitely enjoyed it. Was I gonna say anything else about it? Nope, that was everything I said. I had written down. So yeah, give it a watch. It's good. It's like #1 on Netflix right now, so you've probably seen it or heard of it. And it's good. It's good. It's good. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Alright. Next up is About Time. This is a 2013 movie starring, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm just going to say General Hux from Star Wars, and Rachel McAdams, my third Rachel McAdams movie, and Bill Nye. So I went to this movie thinking that it was The Time Traveler's Wife, but it is not The Time Traveler's Wife, though time travel is an element of this movie. Basically, the premise is that General Hux there, all the men in his family can travel back in time. And yeah, that's just kind of it. He uses it to try to, find love and happiness in life, and he also helps out his friends a couple times. But yeah, it's just it's a very sweet and sentimental, just like nice and pleasant movie. I would say though, it took me a while to actually get into it. It was like I was having problems like keeping my attention at the beginning of the movie. But I definitely was like enjoying myself once I did finally like get sucked in. I don't know. I think it was just like his voice narration stuff, just kind of like, I don't know. His voice just isn't my thing. But it was really good. It was solid. I put it in the liked category. If you want like a nice rom-com, this is it. And also like like I said, it's sweet and sentimental, but it's also got like a very realistic ending that's sad but like real and stuff. It's also like about his relationship with his father, because they're both time travelers and stuff, and it's just it gets in the feels. I definitely I felt something at the end there, which is kind of surprising. I didn't put it higher because of the emotions, but yeah, it's still good. I liked it. Good times. And lastly is In Time. This is a 2011 movie starring Justin Timberlake, Amanda Stayfield, and Cillian Murphy, which is my second Cillian Murphy movie, and Olivia Wilde, who's like barely in this movie, which is a real travesty. I remember watching this when it came out in theaters and liking it then quite a bit. Now, I still enjoyed it, but I definitely see way more of its flaws. So the basic premise is that babies are now genetically made so that once you hit 25, you stop aging, but you only get to live for a year after that. So like everyone has these little clocks on their arm, and essentially the currency now is time. So literally, like, you can live longer when you work more and stuff like that, and when you buy stuff with your time, with your life, basically. And I mean, yeah, it's a really cool allegory for about like rich people hoarding all the money. Well, they're hoarding all the time, and how that's literally killing people and stuff. And so, like, it's pretty obvious what they're going for here. But it was still nice and pleasant. I like the premise. I like a lot of the actors. I don't think they did a good job acting in it, especially Justin Timberlake. This is not his best performance. Olivia Wilde was in this movie for way too short of a time, but her exit from the movie was definitely very emotional, and I really liked that. And actually, that's the one thing I really remembered about this movie, because they were like, there's a lot of running in this movie, and she was running at one point. Yeah, it's fine. It's just, it's a kind of turn your brain off sci-fi movie. I wish there was more sci-fi stuff in it, because apparently it takes place in like 2167 or something like that, and there's just like hardly any sci-fi tech. It's just kind of like classic cars painted all differently, so now they're different, and it's the future. But I mean, the future's not going to look dramatically different, but like it should still look like a little bit more different than this. I think they just needed a bigger budget. Also, I think the movie kind of like dragged at the end. I think they easily could have cut out like half an hour there, and it would have been a lot better for it. But yeah, still fine, still nice, still pleasant. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, bye.